Metaphysica, Chapter 0, The Primary Theories of the Universe, Simplified. Copyright 2004 by Ian Oxier, all rights reserved. The following presentation of theories is both equally true and false. To some extent, there is an overlap between them. The chart below is a mere approximation. The master suggests that you know or experience, not in the same manner that Adam, one, knew, experienced his wife intimately. The simplest way to do this is to empty the mind of all thought. Thought is dualistic in order to make oneself receptive to the infinite. The path of action is that of magic or thought, which is a movement in the psyche, as opposed to non-action, passive, receptive, or mysticism, the Tao. A thought can command one's hand to move, but the hand cannot grasp thought. Neither can the mind grasp that which is infinite. To define nothing would be to bring it into the realm of duality. To define, and therefore to perceive something, one has to distinguish it from something else in time and space. An apple is not a pear, you are not me, etc. So when we define, we create rules or measures, and a rule is both a wand as well as a line that separates 2 points in space. So one's identity or one's point of view is separated from another point of view in space geometrically. This necessitates limitation. The infinite is limitless. It cannot be defined. Dualistic perception is a convention that enables us to experience something as opposed to nothing, creating limitations, the rules of the game, the laws of the universe, and the multiplicity of phenomena. Note that it is for this reason that one will never understand until one experiences. Understanding transcends the limits of the rational mind or thought, and this is why the communication of such things may appear to be irrational to someone that has no experience. From the perspective of the rational mind, it may be easy to say it's all just bullshit. The truth is that it is impossible to grasp infinity with even 1 billion or more doctorates under your belt. This explains why some of the most intelligent people in the world are incapable of contributing or are capable of contributing to the sum of misery we experience on Earth. Now, here's a brief overview, and I'm sure some people will disagree, and I'm not trying to cover the entire philosophy in each of these cases. I'm just trying to summarize in order to give you the basics that you need to know regarding these philosophies. So the first one is pagan or polytheistic, and this means there are many gods. Nature is God, everyone and everything is a manifestation or aspect of God. This may naturally progress into a monotheistic view of the universe. The next one is monotheistic. There is one God. This can either be an old man somewhere in the sky, a single point emanating all creation, such as the Big Bang, an individual, an alien being, group consciousness, or an experience of oneness. And I'm not suggesting that there is an alien being. I'm not particularly a fan of aliens. Never seen them myself. I'm not going to say there are any or there aren't any. I just like to keep things practical. Existentialism. One can only be certain of one's own existence. From this perspective, one can view the entire universe as an illusion. This includes the material world, the body, brain, mind, thoughts, emotions, and the experience of one's senses. Science itself can be doubted from this perspective, including the apparent physical laws of the universe. From this perspective, one can doubt the past, history, including anything that happened in one's own lifetime, fraction of a second ago, and therefore one's memories. One's present experience, apart from the fact that someone's experiencing something, and the future. Taken to the extreme conclusion, this can lead to view oneself as God, because ultimately the existence of the universe depends on one being conscious of it. Any God that is not at least as real as oneself can be doubted out of existence. After all, if one does not exist, how can one be sure that God, the universe, anything, or anyone else is real for that matter? From that perspective, it may not even matter if God exists. The next one is the atheistic, materialistic, dualistic perspective. God does not exist in this paradigm, or this view. Only the material world is real. This can lead to the perception that man is God, as well as an inclination to Satanism. In Satanism, this is represented by an inverted pentagram ascribed to the dualistic experience, which gives rise to ego, pride, selfish desires, conflict, viewing other individuals as separate from oneself, good and evil, etc. The 2 points of the inverted pentagram correspond to the 2 hemispheres of the brain, which brings about the creation, experience, perception of the dualistic universe. However, the inverted pentagram surrounded by a circle representing nothing may also symbolize the magus, whom has experienced nothing, acting in duality, as the Lord of Illusions, Mara, the universe being recognized as an illusion. God is one, as opposed to nothing, or the devil, which can both mislead or free by either luring one further into duality or releasing one to experience nothing. There is nothing before God in this sense. Nothing is the real God, while the magician is God in duality. In this manner, Satanism is both true and false, and the magician is and is not the devil, making magic simultaneously good and evil. He is the one magician in the circle zero, abstracting binary forces of duality, programming the collective consciousness, the cosmic computer, using a form of cosmic assembler, and progressing into more complex object-oriented techniques. We can even speculate that God as nothing, manifesting as Elohim, God, goddess in duality, intentionally created the devil duality for the express purpose of deceiving Adam and Eve, an image of him herself, into experiencing duality for the purpose of creation, reflection, experience, and unconditional or divine love, because as nothing, he was less than alone, one. God, nothing, had no way to experience itself. 2 mirrors held together reflect into infinity. Now, the next perspective is the nihilistic perspective, and this includes some elements of Buddhism. This eventually leads to the perception that nothing exists, and that the experience of one's existence is also uncertain. Of course, there has to be someone to doubt something. Although the experience of individuality may be an illusion, something is experiencing something. This may lead the individual to the disillusion of the ego and the experience of no thing, in a positive sense, as something that is. And the final perspective is the chaotic, thelemic, Taoist perspective. Nothing is recognized as a mode of something, the sum of things in duality, that is. Everything exists and does not exist simultaneously, much like the subatomic particles of quantum physics theory. Something is experienced as duality, subject and object, self and not self, the universe. This is generally represented symbolically as yin, yang. The circle surrounding the opposites is the zero or nothing. Ankh, cross, hexagram consisting of 2 interlaced arrows, one pointing up, the other pointing down. The Hermetic axiom comes to mind: as above, so below, and also as within, so without. It may be distilled as an equation: 0 equals 2, or 0 equals -1 plus +1. The sum of all opposites is not. Although the opposites are unified, they are experienced as nothing, because there is no one to experience them. All that is left is pure and personal experience.